make me feel so young.
Hey, trying to remember what cartoons were most influential in my life. What was my favorite cartoon growing up? But honestly, whenever I try to think of it, it just kind of comes to me in blocks. It was, Cartoon Fridays with Dexter's Lab and the Powerpuff Girls and Johnny Bravo. Or you have Toonami with Dragon Ball Z or Sailor Moon or Teen Titans. In fact, there are many times I remember that Cartoon Fridays were kind of an event at my house with all my family. Mom and Dad would make a bunch of pizza rolls, and we'd all crash in their bedroom and get comfortable and watch, you know, all those great old cartoons. I mean, old, but, even now I can remember Mom, and how she just loved Johnny Bravo's silly antics. And my dad, whenever the ranting Swede came on at the end of Sheep in the Big City, and how he'd mimic that, and we'd all crack up laughing. Of course, there were Nicktoons that, we liked as well. There were Rugrats and others, but it's so much easier just to remember the blocks of cartoons and the marketing that Cartoon Network did to get us to remember that. I know I'm kind of beating around the bush here, but honestly, it's difficult to isolate which cartoon was my favorite. Honestly, I don't think I could tell you which one I looked forward to most while I was still a child. That being said, I'm going to go with two cartoons, Powerpuff Girls and Sailor Moon. Now, this might sound to you kind of ultra serious and feministy, and you're doing like the English teacher thing where the curtains are not blue because he's sad and all of that jazz. But honestly, when you look at the list of cartoons that were being shown in primetime cartoon television, these are really the only ones that stand out as having females for main characters, especially having multiple females for main characters. Definitely don't get me wrong. I love Time Squad and Dragon Ball Z and Dexter's Laboratory and Johnny Bravo. I loved all those things. I'm not dissing them because they didn't have females in them, but, that's a lot of cartoons with mostly guys. What we consume in the media helps us figure out who we're going to be when we grow up, and I think that is a good thing that we had these two shows on primetime television, especially among all of the male shows. They're definitely not perfect. None of the heroines in these shows are minorities, but these shows gave a voice to us, the viewers, in a way that the other ones really just couldn't do. They were taking elementary school and middle school girls, us, and they were showing them beating up the bad guy and establishing their independence and admitting their mistakes and, just generally becoming better people. And that's kind of important because a lot of times in TV, especially in TV, but in other forms of media as well, you'll just have a group of guys and the token female that's their friend, but if another girl shows up, well then, they have to fight. And really what this is teaching you is that, all girls are catty and vicious and jealous, and they'll go crazy, and they'll gossip, and they'll lie behind your back, but they'll put on a big smile to keep everything up front, okay? But even though there's more girls in these shows, that was never really what happened. Things would test their friendship from the outside with the forces of evil or from the inside because everybody, there'll be interpersonal conflicts. The overlying message was the fact that these girls are up against the world and they are relying on each other, and that's a very powerful message for girls that are being told from everywhere else pretty much that no, girls really can't be friendly with anyone, they're just pretending. And the power of friendship trope is used a lot of ways, but it's really just a breath of fresh air see shows that place so much emphasis on loving each other and being proud of each other and helping each other. I haven't watched much of it, but I'd say a modern day equivalent of this would probably be My Little Pony. I really think that those shows are inspiring, and I definitely remember loving them as a girl. So in conclusion, we need more shows featuring girls so that it becomes normal to have shows featuring girls. Does that make sense? Anyway, I'm looking forward to seeing what shows y'all remember resonating with you. I will see you Wednesday and Friday-ish.